Okay, so this is the second video. We actually started the lesson today with this, but I've forgotten to press record. So if you could pause at this point and attempt these questions, this is really a bit of revision, right? So if you pause, I'm going to continue and put the answers on. Okay, so putting the answers in here. That's B or, I need to change that to pen. B or minus. Sulfate, back of the data leaflet, don't forget, SO4 is the formula, 2 minus is the charge. Silver 1 is on the back of the data leaflet. The 1 means it has a single positive charge. Potassium sulfide is K2S because potassium is group 1, sulfur is group 6. So that's a 2 minus, a plus, drop and swap. Calcium hydroxide is Ca bracket OH bracket 2. Again, calcium is group 2, 2 plus charge. Hydroxide's back at the data leaflet has a single negative charge, so the 2 plus, the 2 from calcium's charge ends up here. Sodium carbonate, Na2CO3, because carbonate has a 2 minus charge, sodium has a plus charge, so the 2 minus, the drop and swap means the 2 will end up with sodium. And aluminium nitrate, aluminium is 3 plus, nitrate is minus 1, so you're going to need 3 nitrates for every aluminium. Okay, electron structure, so our electronic configuration, it's 288. This is 28. Explain why it has a high melting point. It has the strong attraction between oppositely charged ions. Require a lot of energy to break. Okay. So after that, now we did what we did in the first video, and then we just did one tiny little bit at the end of symbols, formula, and equations. Now I just had mentioned that so I suggest have a practice of these. You could practice these word equations, cover the answers for balance symbol equations, and test yourself, right? But we did this. Okay, so I'm actually going to scribble this out. So just so you know, in terms of S means solid, L means liquid, and an example, liquid is quite unusual, right? Most liquids, if you like, are solutions. G means gas, AQ means aqueous, which means dissolved in water. A lot of substances are dissolved in water, so you'll see the AQ sign. An example of balance symbol equation with state symbols is here. So you can see you've got your magnesium as a metal, so it's solid. Sulfuric acid, all acids are solutions, so it's got aqueous. Magnesium sulfate is soluble, so it has aqueous, and hydrogen is a gas. And just note what I told the others here, the people in class today, is that you do not need to put state symbols in unless you're asked. Okay, so just watch out for that. That's not expected unless you're asked to do so, and they would have to give you enough information to do that. Right? You're not expected to know what substances are always dissolved or whatever. Although it is on the back of the data leaflet if you remember how to use that. Now, this last part is difficult, and I think we're going to just sort of solidify the idea of balanced chemical equations before we look at ionic equations and half equations. There's not an awful lot of these you need to know, right? So we're not going to go into great detail on them at the moment. As I say, we'll cover them later in the course. Okay, so we finished with the topic 1.5, and I have printed the next topic, which is the periodic table. Okay, so, and just part 1, I have to finish the notes and I'll have those done for after Christmas. So the first part of this is reasonably straightforward, right? It's about Mendeleev and the periodic table and the similarities, how Mendeleev organized his periodic table, the idea of him. So the key things here are actually in the specification. how he arranged the elements in the periodic table, left gaps using mass numbers, relative atomic masses. He left gaps for elements that had not been discovered. He predicted the properties of undiscovered elements. And then you compare Mendeleev's and the modern periodic table. Okay, so we just really read through this. Okay, there's an example of Mendeleev's. I was saying to the boys that I was using the GCSE bite-size, CCA GCSE Chemistry bite-size website, which has things laid out very nicely, I think. So I'd stolen some stuff off that. And here's the modern periodic table. So really all we got to is, we were just looking at list the features of Mendeleev's periodic table. So actually we're going to come back to this. There's a printout for everybody when you return. I would put this on Google Classroom as well as the revision guide chapter, and also this some other resources that might be of interest to you. Okay, and then that's you caught up.